Benvenuti in Italy under the dark clouds of Pietramurata. Last week, Tony Cairoli rediscovered his winning form, and I'm sure with his own crowd behind him this week, he'll try and improve on his results from last year, where he won the first race and came second overall. But he will have his hands full with Tim Geiser, who reclaimed the red plate last weekend in Germany, but was the overall MX2 winner right here last year. In MX2, Jeffrey Herlings remains unbeaten, even last week when he was sick. But Jeremy Seewer and Dylan Ferrandis are prepared to fight, so if Jeffrey wants to win, he has to ride two perfect motos. The stage is set in the shadows of the Dolomite Mountains. Welcome to Pietramurata for the MXGP of Trentino, the 8th round of the FIM Motocross World Championship. This year in MXGP, we'll visit Italy 3 times. Our first stop is right here in Pietramurata, between the Dolomite Mountains. Now, if you don't know this track yet, let's take a look through a rider's perspective. Here's James Dunn and Paul Coates in our GoPro track preview.
Start straight here at Pietramurata. Takes the riders left through 90 degrees, slightly uphill over the Foxhole shot line and into turn 2. A tight right 180. Drop down out of there over the Monster Energy finish line jump. Stepping up into turn 3, a right. Falls away on the exit into a slightly off cambered left turn. Is turn 4 and then uphill, easy on the gas, onto a plateau through turn 5, 90 degree left. Over the Ippon step up. Not too difficult, but if it rains, it might just be a little bit more difficult than usual. Through turn 6, dropping downhill into the main spectator area, through the 180 right. This is where we saw drama with Herlings and Geiser last year. Stepping up into this next left-hander. A short little jump. And then over the Monster Energy tabletop right in front of the main Monster Energy grandstand. A jump here into this right, over a step up, and then into one of the slowest corners on the track if you take the inside line. Of course, you can rail the outside. Under the Monster Energy banner through a series of waves, bringing the riders back towards the start area. Through this fast right, and then downhill into this off-cambered left. Again, a choice of lines through there. Throttle control will be imperative if it starts to rain. It's hard and slick under the rear wheel. Stepping down into the valley again on the opposite side. Now this is the slowest corner on the racetrack. Difficult to get on the gas when it's slippery uphill. Turning left, dropping down, and then into this right-hander. Again, it starts to fall away a little bit on the exit, but then we suddenly find traction, hit the Tag Heuer tabletop jump, and they've tightened it up through the rave section. Series of doubles, dropping downhill. Very fast down here into this sweeping left-hander. Exit over the jump, under the Trentino banner. And then this is where Ryan Villopoto crashed out spectacularly last year. Through the chicane, this is the final turn. And then the Monster Energy finish line jump awaits here, and that's a lap of Pietramurata.
So what are you going to put on your pizza?
I still don't know. We will see.
I really like cheese and mushrooms, so can you put some cheese and mushrooms on it?
So I'll put cheese and mushrooms.
Perfect, thank you. Hello. What are you putting on your pizza?
Some mozzarella,
Nice.
some tuna, I hope.
Oh, tuna. I love tuna.
Yeah, me too.
And remember, you need to put the tomato sauce on as well.
Of course, I almost forgot. Thanks.
Can I have a bit of your pizza?
Of course, you can try it.
Thank you. Enjoy. So tell us firstly, how do you find the level between the European and the World Championship? What's the difference for you?
Yeah, for me it's very different for the European and World Champion. And MX2 is very fast. It's very hard the level.
What did you do after the Europeans?
Yeah, the Italian Championship and last year go for the European MX2.
Peter, just tell us, is it difficult to compete against your brother, or do you perhaps find it more fun?
No, it's nice to race against brothers. We also do always on the training, so it's less pressure than on the race because the trainings are actually the race every time.
Yeah.
For me, it's always fun to compete against my brother. It's also we do it also on the trainings, so I know his moves. So it's sometimes even more difficult to pass him, but it's more fun because of that.
And now for the final verdict from a real pizzaiolo and the team manager. It's time to judge. So the verdict, which one was the best pizza for you?
Questa.
And for you?
No, questa.
Well, I think pizza number 2 was the best pizza, so that means Simone is the winner!
Abbiamo cominciato 3 anni fa.
We started 3 years ago in the European 125cc Championship, and then last year we tried the World Championship with Matavir, and this year, thanks to our sponsor Girasoli and Motorwork, they gave us the bike, and we were able to take part in the MX2 World Championship with Simone Zecchina, and in MXGP with Peter Irt and Joni Irt. It's very difficult to have riders in MX2 and MXGP in the same time, but we arrived to do it also because we're a small team and we can solve many little problems because of that. Our goal is to finish the first 15, and we arrive the first 15, we'll be very happy because we're doing all the races in the World Championship this year.
After losing his first qualifying race since the beginning of the season, let's see if Jeffrey Hurlings can remain unbeaten in the main MX2 races.
To race 1. Down the start straight on board with Alexander Tonkov, but it was Dylan Ferrandis, number 4, who grabbed the foxhole shot ahead of Jeffrey Hurlings and Samuele Bernardini as Calvin Valandrin crashed out at the back going into the first turn. Ferrandis, buoyed by his qualifying win on Saturday, was eager to pull clear of Bernardini and Jeffrey Hurlings, believing that he could pick up 25 points. But the bullet started to close in on Bernardini as they challenged for second. Hurlings made his move on lap 6. He passed the Italian right in front of the main arena He then went about, closing in on Ferrandis. Meanwhile, Adam Sterry started in 5th, was caught and passed by the 91 of Jeremy Siewert, but all eyes were on the battle for the lead as Hurlings closed down the number 4 of Ferrandis. He made several attempts at trying to make the pass for the lead, but every time Ferrandis was able to resist. He made one mistake that allowed Hurlings to close in. Max Anstey a little bit further back, started to make his way towards the front. Ferrandis and Hurlings were absolutely bar to bar, neither one giving an inch. Hurlings thought he made the pass at the bottom of the hill. Ferrandis managed to keep it upright and retaliated 2 corners later and burst back ahead of the KTM rider. The fans were loving every minute of it here in Trentino. Ferrandis started to pull clear again, but only by a few bike lengths. And on the final lap, it was as close as this. As Ferrandis and Hurlings duked it out once more on the final turn, it was Ferrandis who came out on top with his first win of the year. Hurlings was 2nd, Jonas was 3rd.
Last year my goal was to finish the season in the top 5, but I knew I still can do better, and I did now 6 podiums in a row, which is amazing, and it's just like I try to continue, try to do better every week, and like I said, we try to get closer to Jeffrey and make it a little bit more difficult for him. Yeah, I remember this still really well, like it was 2nd moto, and I was pushing for I think 3rd place at that time with poles, and somehow in that long right-hander he had a bad line. Yeah, I'm lucky I saved it, and I continued the race and still finished 3rd. What I remember the most is when he passed me around the outside on that step-up thing there, and somehow I just could cut left of him and went next to him, and on the next scrub jump I just passed him again. That's what I have in my mind, but the rest of the race I just try to focus on myself. And we catched up like Ferrandis and Paturel. That was my goal, to pass them, and then yeah, finally he could pass me, but he was a little bit faster in the end, but that's how it was, and I think we made a great race there.
His run of 6 consecutive podiums, number 91, Jeremy Siewert, was keen to get out ahead of everybody else. But it was Robert Just, 95, who swept across the front of Jeffrey Hurlings to take the Fox hole shot. Siewert was buried under the bike of Bernardini, who fell at turn 2. Was caught here by Max Anstey as he took a look around on the exit of the 2nd turn. He fell again 3 or 4 corners later. Stefan Everts knew then that another podium was on the rocks. Hurlings already at the head of the field as Ferrandis was just inside the top 10. Robert Just and Paul Jonas battled over 2nd. Jonas eventually going through into 2nd on lap 5. Ferrandis barged his way past the 189 of Brian Borges to get himself into 4th, then rapidly went after Just, got himself into 3rd, and went after Paul Jonas. The 2 HSF Logistics KTMs battled briefly before Benoit Paturel arrived on the scene. Bernardini charged from that first turn fall and got himself up into 6th as Tomkov fell as he tried to deny the Italian a route through inside the top 6. Siewert was on the charge. He got himself into contention but fell again. 2 laps to go. from 7th and would remount in 12th place. But Dylan Ferrandis on the final lap tried to barge his way past the 41 of Jonas to get himself into 2nd, but there was no way through for the Kawasaki rider as Jeffrey Hurlings cruised to an easy victory in Moto number 2 ahead of his Red Bull KTM teammate Paul Jonas. Ferrandis was 3rd, and the overall was Hurlings, Ferrandis and Jonas here in Trentino. And for the first time this year, Jeffrey Hurlings dropping points to the Frenchman, Dylan Ferrandis. Although, he still holds the championship lead going into round 9.
We have about the same riders as last year, except for Herbreto. Team was riding in 250, and this year is in MXGP class. And for him and for Saragossa, we get full support with bikes and parts from HRC from Japan.
It's nice, to be part of Honda family. HRC is Honda. Actually, it's one of the biggest manufacturers in motorsport. To be part of it, as only 19 years old, it's like dreams came true. And last year we extended the contract plus 5 years, so it's just amazing, In
MX2, the aim is to build something for the future and possibly see them finishing top 10 within the end of the season.
This is my 2nd year in the team Honda Garibaldi. Last year Team Heiser was a world champion. So now I'm like the rider, in MX2 that have to make the good results. So that puts me a little bit of pressure. But last year for me was difficult. I had a big injury and just raced 5 GPs. So this year is also a little bit of learning, just try to finish a year in top 10, that will be good.
Yeah, Giacomo and the whole Honda manufacturer give me the opportunity to come ride in GP this year, and I directly take the decision to come. I can't pass away of this opportunity, and to be within the team like teams been world champ last year, it's unbelievable. They really know on which way they have to go and what they have to do for helping you, and for be the best, it's one of the way you have to take. I'm really motivated about this, and my goal is really to be the more fast as possible and grow up in this category.
To be in this team, for the races to improve, and yeah, I feel really good, and I want to stay here, for as long as I can.
It's nice. We are like a really young team, that we have to learn a lot, and for sure we are helping each other, yeah.
Before the Qatar, honestly, we knew that the team was very fast, but we didn't expect, of course, to win like we did. But we knew that he could have been top 5 on this bike, because he has been training all winter and he was fast.
Before the season starts, I don't want to put any pressure, and I didn't. I just went out there and have fun, enjoying. Then the results also came, so so far so good. So I'm really glad to have a red plate back.
Yeah, for sure. At the beginning, the goal was to be top 5, and it was already a very good goal. Now we are there, and with the red plate here, so we have to try to go for the win.
There was carnage at the first couple of corners in MXGP Race 1. Ben Townley avoided the crash to the outside. Bobryshev went down, so too did Tommy Searle, Glenn Coldenhoff. So too, back from injury, Gauthier Paulin. Tony Cairoli took the foxhole shot, but Romain Febvre, who was second, fell at turn 2, taking out Valentin Guillot and a few more riders as well, as Tim Geiser also suffered from a poor start on his Honda Garibaldi machine. He found his way onto the rear wheel of the Yamahas. Bobryshev was also giving chase, as Christophe Charlier started 5th, but then started to fade back to 8th. Geiser charged his way down the inside of the Husqvarna rider, but it was Tony Cairoli who was edging clear ahead of Nagel, Strybos and Van Hoorbeek. Febvre then fell again. He got himself to 12th, dropped down to 19th, and would have to do it all over again, as Geiser went after the Suzuki of Ben Townley, made that pass to get himself into 6th. All of a sudden, things were looking good for Tim Geiser. Cairoli was giving the Italian fans what they wanted, but Nagel was closing in fast as Febvre barged his way up the leaderboard. Geiser fell but didn't lose any places. He was able to remount in 5th place, go back after the Yamaha of Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. Cairoli, Nagel, Strybos were starting to close up in the final moments of MXGP Race 1. But then all of a sudden, Cairoli pulled clear, leaving Nagel to fend off the challenge of the 22, Kevin Strybos, as they battled over 2nd position. Van Hoorbeek suddenly found Tim Geiser closing in as well. And with about 3 laps to go, Geiser was in striking distance. And at the top of the hill, he went around the outside of the Belgian and snuck into 4th. Tony Cairoli out on his own though. Suddenly picked up his 3rd race win of the season. Nagel was 2nd, Strybos was 3rd. Geiser, Van Hoorbeek, Febvre were next. The epic encounter that was race 1, the fans wanted more and they weren't disappointed. Tim Geiser grabbed the foxhole shot right in front of his home fans. Tony Cairoli gave chase in 2nd. Boutron was 3rd, Paulin 4th, Van Hoorbeek, Febvre, Bobryshev and Guillot were next. Wasn't long though before Tim Geiser started to check out, leaving Cairoli to fend off the challenge of the pursuing pack as Febvre moved past Bobryshev to get himself into 6th. Strybos was in a hurry as well, charged down the inside of Valentin Guillot as Febvre and Paulin diced over 3rd. Febvre made his move at the top of the hill and made it stick through the bottom left-hander and then set about Tony Cairoli. Wasn't long before Van Hoorbeek and Strybos also followed through, leaving the Frenchman down in 7th. All things were looking good for Tim Geiser. He was about 6 seconds clear, but then this went wrong. Caught the bank, went down hard. The Slovenian's lead was gone. He remounted in 6th, just ahead of the Frenchman Paulin, but Tony Cairoli accepted the gift with both hands and tried to run away once more. But with Febvre sensing his nearest rival down on the deck, he knew it was an opportunity to pick up more World Championship points to close in on the championship lead. There was nothing in it between him and Cairoli. And with 4 laps to go, it was a dogfight between Cairoli and Febvre as they pulled clear of Bobryshev, who was left behind in 3rd. Febvre got alongside Cairoli, made this move to push the Italian back into 2nd as Geiser nudged aside Van Hoorbeek to take care of 4th, which would get him on the podium and push Strybos off it into 4th. The fans had just witnessed an epic Grand Prix here at Trentino, and in the final corner it was Febvre who just hung on for his first victory in 4 races from Tony Cairoli, but it was the Italian who was victorious for the second week in succession. Geiser leads the championship, but Fevre is now just 4 points behind. But what a day here in Trentino. Tony Cairoli, Romain Fevre, Tim Geiser, your top 3 as we head to round 9. It's Tim Geiser who still leads by the narrowest of margins.
What an incredible weekend it's been here at the Pietramurata track. Some fantastic racing and a brilliant atmosphere. Tony Cairoli gifted his Italian fans exactly what they wanted with another victory. Will he be able to keep his winning streak alive? We'll find out in a couple of weekends' time when we head to Talavera in Spain. We'll see you then.